Hi, it's Josie, and today I've got something a little bit different for you. But before you look at what we're going to do or hear about it and think it's not for you, this is for everybody that has anything to do with a horse. This is where your relationship with your horse starts before you even get in the saddle. So I'll give you a little bit of background of what's going to happen. This is Ava. This is Spider's sister, his little sister. So I started Ava under saddle. She was always a sensitive mare. She was a little bit of an opinionated mare. She's a chestnut mare after all. And she has taught me probably more than all of my horses put together because of that. She's given me more compulsory dismounts than any other horse I've ever ridden, which is your rude get off. And I get off whether I wanted to or not. Anyway, over the course of her training, how long was she under saddle for? I don't start my horses really till they're 4, 5, 6, 7, nearly three and a half years. She started off beautifully, and then she started getting worse in her attitude and her behaviour. She would run up and down the fences here and roar like a stallion. She was difficult to do anything with on the ground, and I began to actually doubt myself, and I began to think that I must not be a very good horse trainer if my own horse is behaving like this. In fact, one of the last straws was she went to the farrier and she was so badly behaved for him that he just said, I don't think I can shoe this horse anymore. And she was pretty bad that day. And I remember driving home from the farrier and making the decision that I had to do something about it. I needed to find out what was wrong with my horse, or I was going to give up horse training. I truly was at that point. I was so doubting myself. So anyway, I booked her in for a vet check, and over the course of that vet check we found that Ava had what's called a thecal cell tumour. One of her ovaries had turned into a tumour, and it was a testosterone producing tumour. So it actually retarded the other tumour of hers, and her other ovary, and her other ovary was like the size of a walnut. And this was a very large testosterone producing tumour. So Ava had so much testosterone on board, which obviously mares shouldn't have because they're mares, not stallions, and was sending her absolutely crazy. For me, that was such a relief for two things, because one, I didn't feel so bad about myself as a horse trainer, and two, it was completely treatable. So it's not cancerous and it's not hereditary, it's just something that happens. So she ended up having her ovary removed, and then they told me to give her 6 months off to let all the hormones settle down. Well, at 6 months she still didn't look quite right to me, and I wasn't happy. And then I have to be really honest, before you knew it, it's now 2.5 years, but Ava is her beautiful self again. So today's video, I want to show you how I bring a horse that hasn't been in work for a long time back into work. And it starts at the very beginning. So you're going to see day one on what I do with her, and then over the course of a few videos I might actually progressively do some for you. Anyway, it is important for you to know this stuff if you handle a horse. If you ride, handle, I don't care if you're Western jumping, dressage, or just pleasure riding. You need to understand these, the way the horse learns and what you should do around him, because it builds your relationship with them. All right, I'll just give her a brush and we'll head out to the round yard. So I'll see you out there. Okay, so we've made our way over to the round yard. Hasn't been used for a little while, as you can see by the weeds in here. So Ava's doing a little bit of weeding work for me. So the first thing I'm going to do with her is make sure that she will give me her attention. And I may not be able to talk to you whilst I'm doing this, because I do need to concentrate. I'm going to be a little rusty. I'm going to make some mistakes, but that's fine, because we all make mistakes. So the first thing I'm going to do is send her off. But the aim of this is not to run your horse madly around a round yard until I guess some people call this join up. I will, for want of a better term, but it's not to run your horse madly around a round yard. The minute she gives me her attention, I am going to take the pressure off of her. So remember, I have taught you guys, horses learn from the release of the pressure. So this morning I'm using pressure and release. There are other ways that you can train a horse. You can use positive reinforcement. Pressure and release is negative reinforcement. Now, I really want to make a point here because I hate it, because people get carried away with the word negative and they're like, oh, that means you beat your horse or you're nasty to your horse. It's not. Negative in this respect means to remove something. Negative, minus. So I put pressure on her and I take that pressure away when she gives me what I would like. And today that will be her attention. And in the very beginning, her attention may just be an ear flick in my way or a slight look in my way. So, and she is actually a really sensitive mare. So you may not see me actually, or I might look, if you've not got a practiced eye, I might look like I'm doing nothing. So my body language, so horses, pressure can be pressure on a rope, pressure from a rope, or also body language. So if you look at the camera and I do that to you, can you feel that that is pressure? And if I do that, I've taken that pressure away. It's very, very subtle with horses. So that's what I'm going to do to start with. So I'm going to send her quietly with as much energy as I need to get her moving her feet. And the minute she looks at me, I will take that pressure away from her. So let's just see how we go. By the way, just before I get going with this, horses have a drive line about where your girth sits on the horse. When you're on that drive line, normally they should keep going at the pace you've got. If you get slightly behind that drive line, and notice that my belly button went that way, you send them forward. If to a more energy. If I get slightly in front, I would like my horse to literally slow down, stop, or turn and face me. So if you've got a horse that you're lunging and it turns to face you, chances are you've gotten in front of that drive line. Just a little tip, be aware of that. All right, let's see how we go. So as much or as little energy as I need. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. She looked at me then, but I just want a bit more forward before I do this. She's got her inside ear on me, guys. Can you see that? So I'm aware. There's a bit of food in here. She's happy. Okay. Now she's good girl. So she turned to look at me. I took the pressure off, and I literally really took the pressure off her by turning myself sideways, turning my belly button and all my energy source away from her, and she came in. Now, she should be pretty good at this. She's a sensitive mare. I'll see if she will, but there's food here, so that might be a little bit more interesting than me. So if I walk away and she doesn't follow me, I am going to go behind there, the drive line, and I was going to push her forward, but she turned. Sorry, I've got to concentrate. Otherwise I'm being unfair. Forward. So I'm using my hand. No, I've asked her to go forward now, and she ignored it. Good girl. Trot, trot. Trot. Remember, it's 2.5 or 3 years since she's done any of this. She's got her ear on me. Can you see that? I'm aware. Good girl. Good girl. Good. No. All right. So what I wanted was her to take a little bit more notice of me. She didn't. She's still got her. The food's very interesting. I'm not so interesting. Trot, trot. Trot, trot. That's not very nice, Ava. Good girl. So I used a little bit too much energy there. I didn't want her to canter, but... So I'm sitting in the drive line here. I'm slightly behind the girth to keep her moving forward. Good girl. I'm watching her eye and her ear. And I just want you guys to be aware that out there is the mare paddock that she spent the last couple of years in. They're all standing on the fence line watching her. Good girl. She's got her ear on me, face coming towards me. Good girl. Oh, very good girl. Good girl. I'm just going to sit here for a minute with no energy, letting all the energy out of my body. If you can't see her, I can. She's doing a lot of blinking. So now I'm going to see if she'll come with me this time, and she will. Good girl. And if I get left behind, if she gets left behind, I'll just send her. Ooh. I do not want her to go past me. And she's now not coming. Whoop. That was too much energy I used then. I want you to go and watch that with my hand and the rope. I did. And if she's a bit stuck, notice how I just cross my path. Good girl. The food in here is very interesting. She's in a sand paddock at the moment. Now she's not coming, so I'm going to send her. No, and now I've told her that way. I want her. She's got me in her left eye. I'm going to get around here. Good girl. Go that way. Good girl. Good girl. I'm going to offer her a chance to come in again. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. See if she'll come with me. I probably didn't pause long enough then. And I want to go this way. So notice I turn towards her back end. And as long as she keeps that coming away and the front feet coming towards me, which they're not, she's being a cheeky little devil. She wants to eat. Come on, that way. No, that way. Good girl. She just has an opinion. She's allowed to have an opinion. Trot, trot. Trot, trot. Good girl. Now I'm just sitting on her drive. Whoops, I nearly got in front of it there. I'm right on her drive line here. Good girl. And I'm taking the pressure away and giving her an opportunity to come in and follow me. Good girl. Good girl. What a good girl. We're going to just go this way. Yeah, good. I want the front feet to cut. Yeah. It's good that she moves her hinds, but I actually want her front feet to come towards me. And here they come. If I feel off to them, like now, I'll just send her on a bit. It's okay. She can have an opinion. Off you go. Good. My fault, okay? Perfect example of my fault. I got in front of her, and so there she turned and went to go the other way. That's exactly what she should have done. That was completely my mistake. So I just say sorry. Yes, sorry, I forgot how sensitive you are. Good girl, you go that way. Good girl. Good girl. That was way my fault, guys. Good. Now I'm going to just come in front of her. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. That's a girl. Rightio. That will do for that bit. So, the other things I want to check with her are all of the basics that I put on her when I started her under saddle. I use rope halters. I once upon a time used the clip-on ropes, but this day and age I prefer these that are actually knotted to the halter, because when you wriggle the rope a bit, they get clunked in the face with those big catches, and I think that's awful. So the first thing I want to know is that she will follow the pressure down, which I just know she will do, because she's such a good girl, aren't she? Good girl. I don't mind that she ate, because you see, I put the pressure, got her to go down, then I let go. I want her to bend on the halter without moving her hind legs. Now she may turn in a circle here, and all I will do in that case is hold the pressure on the rope with her bent until her feet stop, and then I will release the pressure. Remember, you want to release the pressure when the horse does what you want it to do. So I want her to come this way, and here she goes. So I just stay with her with a very neutral energy, and the minute her feet stop, I let go of the rope. My energy was down so that I wasn't driving her. You have to be very aware of your internal energy around a horse. And let me tell you, if you're a little nervous or a little scared, you got a lot of energy happening, and they are so sensitive. So I'm going to do that again, because what I want is for me to be able to bring the rope here. Good girl. And trust me, when I broke this mare in or started this mare under saddle, I needed that bend in. I needed a one rein stop. She was extremely sensitive, and she's very athletic. And I'm just going to ask her to bend again, because she took a step then. I want her to bend until she bend for me. Now that she's leaning on the rope, I just want her to give me a soft feel on that rope for a minute. She's just yeah, good girl. There was a split second of a soft feel. Do I mind that she's eating the weeds here? Not really, because I actually haven't told her that she can't. All right, I'm going to do the same thing this side. I know you can't see me, but oh, good girl. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Good girl. So we're going to go back on this side. Good girl. Well, nope. No, see there she went. Oh, you can't see, sorry, because of the pole. But there she actually went for a weed whilst I had pressure on the rope. I wasn't going to allow her to do that because I'd already had a feel on the rope that I wanted her to give to. We just go back this way again. I'm just double checking. Oh, nice, good. The other thing I would like to know that she can do is back up off a soft feel. There's a feel there now, good, and release, release, good girl. So I release the pressure the minute she steps backwards. She's moving just because I'm moving now, so do I worry about that? No, don't worry about that. Just come up and pat her to make sure, because I need to be able to walk towards her without her backing up, and then put the feel on the rope, which is there now. Good girl. And you don't keep pulling, you just put a feel and hold. And every horse is different as to how much feel you're going to need. That's the start of what I'm going to do with Ava. So I'm going to spend the next few days doing this and a little bit of ground work, and then I'm going to pop her on the lunge and do a little bit of lunge work with her. If you're interested in seeing how we go with Ava, please put your comments below. I'd love to hear that you want to see more of this, and I'll put more out here. I want you to notice that she's licking my hands, guys. It doesn't mean she's going to bite me. Those people that say, oh, don't let your horses do that, drive me insane. Every horse is different. Ava is a licker. She will lick, 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 lick. She's never bitten in, how old are you now, love? 11. She's never bitten in 11 years. It doesn't teach a horse to lick. I absolutely hate the dogma of horsemanship that says every horse must do this, every horse must do that. There's no place in my horse training for that. My horses are individuals. I hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and tell me in the comments if you wish to see the rest of Ava's journey. Thanks for watching.